Good morning, children, and welcome to class 12th mathematics class. Children, in my previous videos of last week, we have discussed about the continuity of a function about a point. Today, we are going to discuss about the continuity of a function on an interval. Continuity of a function on an interval is today's topic. Continuity of a function on an open interval. A function is said to be continuous on an open interval AB if the function is continuous at every point of open interval AB. That means if C is any point belonging to the open interval AB, then the limit of function as x tends to C must be equal to f of C, that is the value of function at C. That is the limit of the function at C should exist and must be equal to the value of function. Continuity of the function on a closed interval. A function is said to be continuous on closed interval AB if function is continuous at every point on open interval. That means this continuity should follow this continuity in the open interval. Along with that, the function should be right continuous at x equals to a. That is, limit x tending to a plus f of x must be equal to the value of function at a, and the function should be left continuous at x equals to b. That is, limit x tending to b negative f of x must be equal to f of b. Function should be right continuous from a. Suppose this is open interval AB. It should be right continuous from a and left continuous to b. Now, functions which are everywhere continuous. A function f is said to be continuous everywhere or continuous function if and only if it is continuous at every point of its domain. And the set of points where the function is continuous, it's said to be domain of continuity. So children, these are three definitions of function: continuous function on open interval, continuous function on a closed interval, and function being continuous at every point of a domain. And all those points are where the function is continuous are known as domain of continuity. Now, for example, for the continuous functions, let's move on to polynomial functions. You know, the polynomial functions are defined by this expression where a1, a0, a1, a2 up to an are set of real numbers, and n minus 1, that is the index of the power of x, that is the index of the power of x, are all positive integers. These functions, that is polynomial functions, are always continuous at each point of real line. That means they are continuous for every point belonging to real number. Rational functions. F of x equals to p of x upon q of x, where px and qx are polynomial functions. These functions are also continuous for all points, that is for all x belonging to real number except the point where except that point of x where qx is equals to 0. To understand this, I have given two rational functions here. You can see the first rational function is x plus 3 upon x minus 2. So x plus 3 upon x minus 2. Now you have to find out the continuity. This function is discontinuous at which point? Where this denominator, that is qx, the function qx here is x minus 2. It should not be equals to 0. So we find x minus 2 is equals to 0. That means x is equals to 2. That means at point x equals to 2, the function is discontinuous. Whereas for all other points belonging to real numbers, it is continuous. Similarly, let us look at the next function, which is x plus 3 upon x square minus x plus 6. Now you have to find out which points are the points of discontinuity for this function. So we find x square minus x plus 6 is equals to 0. Should not be equals to 0. Those points. So we factorize this result, we get x minus 3 times x plus 2 is equals to 0. So we find x equals to 3 and x equals to minus 2. So this function, rational function, is discontinuous at point x equals to 3 and x equals to minus 2. Okay. Now moving on to this, all trigonometrical functions are also continuous in their respective domains. For example, when we talk about all trigonometrical function, that means sin x, cos x, tan x, cosec x, sec x and cot x. Now let me prove that sin x is a continuous for all x belonging to domain, because domain of the sin x function is all real numbers. Now let us take c as any point belonging to the domain. Now what is the value of the function at this point? F of c. The f of c will be sin c. Now what is next to be found is the limit of function as x tends to c, f of x. That is limit extending to c of sin of x. So what I do is if I replace sin c by x, I replace x by c plus h. So what happens? This function gets transformed to limit extending to 0 sin of c plus h. And then I apply sin of a plus b formula. Sin of a plus b is, so I expanded writing, sin of a plus b is sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. Now what happens when h tends to 0? When h tends to 0, we find that cos 0 is 1. And when h tends to 0, sin 0 is 0. So this turns out to be sin c into 1 plus cos c into 0, which is same as sin of c. So what do you find? That the value of function at point c is sin c, and the limit extending to c is also equals to what? Sin c. So this function is continuous for its domain x belonging to R. Now let us do some sums to understand the concept of continuity of a function on an interval. Now exercise 5.2, question number 2, part 2. Here the function f(x) is defined as 2x minus 1 for x less than 2 and 3x upon 2 for all x greater than or equals to 2. You have been asked to examine the continuity of the function. You have not been given at what point you have to examine the continuity. Just say, question says examine the continuity of the function. Now here you can see the domain of the function is all real numbers. So we have to examine the continuity for all real numbers. So let's take any arbitrary number c belonging to real numbers. Let c be any real number. Let c be any real number. Now there are three cases arises. Case number 1, when c is less than 2. Case number 2, when c is equals to 2. And case number 3, when c is greater than 2. There are three cases to be solved for that. Now when c is less than 2, f of x is defined by 2x minus 1. You can see that. So what is f of c here? F of c will be given by 2c minus 1. And what will be the limit? Limit extending to 2, f of x. That will be limit extending to 2, 2x minus 1, which will turn out to be 2c minus 1. And you can see that limit of the function at x tends to 2 is equals to 2c minus 1, same as the value of function 2c minus 1. So the function is continuous for all c less than 2. Now moving on to c equals to 2. What is the value of function? What is f of 2? You can see that f of 2 is defined by this 3x by 2. So what is f of 2 is 3 by 2 into 2, that is 3. What is limit of the function extending to 2 negative f of x? Extending to 2 negative, that means the function will be defined by 2x minus 1. So it will be 2 limit extending to 2 negative 2x minus 1, and the limit when you put x as 2, 2 4 to the 4 minus 1 turns out to be 3. Now again you will find for the limit extending to 2 plus f of x. The limit extending to 2 plus f of x will be given by limit extending to 2 plus, and which function will be defined here? The function is greater than 2, that is 3x by 2. So 3x by 2, and when you put x as 2, you get the limit as 3. You again find all three are equal. The value of function at point 2, the left hand limit at 2 and the right hand limit at 2 is all equal. That means this function is again continuous at x equals to 2. Now left is to find for c greater than 2. So what is the value of f of c here? When c is greater than 2, the function is defined for this, for all c greater than 2. 3x by 2. So it becomes 3c by 2. And what is the limit? Limit extending to 2c. What is limit extending to c here? The limit extending to c in this case, the limit extending to c also here, sorry children, there is a mistake here, limit extending to c. Here also limit extending to c, the limit extending to c will turn out to be by the function, it's given by a range, for x greater than 2, the function is 3x by 2. So 3x by 2, and when you substitute here, it becomes 3c by 2, which is same as the value of the function at f of c, when x is greater than 2. So all three cases, this way, this function is continuous for entire domain x belonging to R. Okay, now moving on to the next question. Now question number 6. Here there is a modulus function involved. Again, when we look for the domain of this function, the domain of this function is all real numbers. Now, you know the modulus of x. The modulus of mod of x or mod is defined as x for all x greater than 0 and is equals to minus x for all x less than 0. So, using this definition of modulus of x, so f of x which is defined as x upon mod of x, this becomes x upon x equals to 1 for all x greater than 0, and this equals to x upon minus x equals to minus 1 for all x less than 0. So fx, this fx can be defined as, now this fx can be defined as 1 for all x greater than 0 equals to minus 1 for all x less than 0. Okay, understood? And is equals to 0 when x is 0. Now let's move on to the proving of this discontinuity. The proving of this function has to be continuous. Understood? So we have now three cases here. First case is when c is greater than 0. Case 1, we find the value of the function f of c is equals to 1. You can see for c greater than 0, value of function is 1, and the limit of extending to c f of x will be nothing but limit extending to c 1, which is equals to 1. So the function is continuous for all real numbers greater than 0. Now, when c is equals to 0, what is f of 0? F of 0 is 1. You can see that f of 0 is defined as 0 here. Moreover, limit extending to 0 negative f of x. Now, negative f of x, which function we define? The negative x of x is defined by minus 1. So we have limit extending to 0 negative minus 1. So it comes out to be minus 1. Whereas limit extending to 0 plus f of x, here it is limit extending to 0 plus, and 0 plus means right hand limit is defined for all x greater than 0, that is function fx is 1. So it's 1 here, which turns out to be 1. And you can see now this limit does not exist at x equals to 0, because the left hand limit is minus 1 and the right hand limit is 1. So the function, this function is discontinuous at x equals to 0. However, it is continuous for all points greater than 0. Now moving on to x less than 0. When x is less than 0, in that case, the value of function f of 0, when x less than 0 is defined by this. So value of function will be minus 1. And for limit extending to c f of x, it will be defined as limit extending to c minus 1, which is equals to minus 1. So what we come to know about this function is that this function is continuous for all points greater than 0 and as well as less than 0. But this function is discontinuous at point x equals to 0. So these two examples which have been displayed before you, you can look at them properly.